Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer for Kentucky Derby Prep Recap, taking a look back at the Ellis Park Derby on Sunday, August the 9th. We're going a mile and an eighth. Big favorite in this race, the Bluegrass winner, Art Collector. We break from the gate. Art Collector's the number 4. I love how Brian Hernandez Jr. handled this. On paper, there looked like there would be a lot of speed. Art Collector broke well. You're on a 2-5 shot in a big field with speed. You go.
Yeah, I agree with that, Dan. They didn't really play any games with this horse. He broke running. They put him right on the front in here. And yeah, he's got a horse, sitting up there sort of keeping him honest on the lead. But that horse is, 800 to 1 with no chance. Brian Hernandez just did what he was supposed to do. He gave the best horse the best trip.
I think a lot of these other horses were a little bit shell-shocked at the early speed Art Collector showed. They knew he was fast. I don't think they expected him to take the lead, and maybe they're the ones now taking holds and taking themselves out of the game. But you're absolutely right. He's being pressured by a 99 to 1 shot. You know Hernandez isn't worried about him. Dean Martini coming off of a win in the Ohio Derby. He's up close to the pace here, tracking 3 wide. This is a solid pace, but Dean Martini just could not go with a very good 3-year-old in Art Collector when the real running begins.
Yeah, he just found a much tougher race here out of his Ohio Derby win. And I mean, listen, he didn't run a poor race here, Dan. He was up close all the way. You're going to see now all through the second turn, he's going to be between the 1-2 finishers. They're both really nice horses. And all right, he can't quite go with them. And he ultimately gets tired and finishes 5th, but he did not run poorly in the end.
Attachment rate, the number 10, gearing up 3 wide right now. For a second, it looks like he's got a shot at Art Collector. And we had talked about attachment rate, that over the winter, this is a horse, he'd shown some ability, just was a little bit green. His trainer, Dale Romans, believed in him. We see him change leads here. He looks a little bit more professional than we've seen in the past. He just can't go with this horse in the stretch. Art Collector continues to widen. He's very, very awkward with his lead changes. You saw that the winner, Art Collector, he was on his right lead on the turn, his left lead to the wire. That's just him. He's now run 3 consecutive triple-digit Beyer speed figures. He dominated this race from start to finish. It was a 100 Beyer, and it was a foregone conclusion after the first quarter mile.
Yeah, I mean, he just ran really well again. He's just a horse who's really coming into his own right now. He's going to head into Kentucky now on a real roll. Obviously, when he gets to that Derby, that's going to be the toughest tested date for this horse. But he's really good. He looks like he has a lot of talent. He does not need the lead to be effective. There's plenty to like about him. And I thought attachment rate ran really well also, Dan. I was concerned about the distance going in, but as you said, he was way more professional in here. He made the 3 wide move. He changed his lead right on cue in the stretch, which was a problem for him before. I thought he was a good second in here.
I agree. And, he has some work to do, obviously, if he's going to be a major factor in a race like the Kentucky Derby, if that's where Romans decides to send him. He's going to have to turn the tables on Art Collector. He's going to have to face Tiz the Law. He's going to have to face Honor AP and Authentic and 1,000 Words. But he's a horse that seems to be going the right way, and he's kind of an interesting sort of single race exotic source at a big price. Necker Island, listen, let's give the connection some credit here. They shelled out $100,000 for this horse in the claiming box. They got him, and now they've gotten 2 major stakes placings, one in the Indiana Derby, one here. Is he a Kentucky Derby horse? Probably not, but he's probably a little bit better than we gave him credit for.
Yeah, listen, he's fine. He just keeps picking up checks. He's, it seems like it's going to be really hard for him to win a race like this, but he keeps getting pieces of him, Dan. He got a great trip in this race, and he did his best with it, picked up 3rd.
Shared Sense just has no speed, and that which just works against him. He had a feeling it would in a field of 12 where he's breaking from post 12, and there's just really no opportunity for the jockey to do anything other than completely take back and make one run, and you're going wide into the stretch. That being said, Shared Sense is probably just a notch or 2 below the leading 3-year-olds.
He probably is. He ran a pretty good 5th in this race, actually, just missing 4th. I would argue that he probably ran the 3rd best race, Dan. He was just badly compromised by his post position. Giroux had no choice. He dropped him out the last. He sat there for a long way. This horse was running through the stretch. It was way too late.
While no match for the top 2, I'm really proud of Rowdy Yates because I think there were a lot of questions regarding his ability to go a mile and an eighth. He's now run 4th in the Ohio Derby. He's now run 4th in the Ellis Park Derby. And I think Steve Asmussen now is going to give him a little bit of class relief. I think he realizes he's probably not a Derby horse. And as Asmussen has shown with this horse in the past, you can find rich spots for him and he will make hay, especially if you turn him back a little bit in distance.
Yeah, he's just a cool horse. He shows up every time and runs. He's another horse. So I felt like his trip really worked out in here. Not only was he no match for the 1-2 finishers, he was no match for Necker Island either, but he picked up another pretty nice check.
Anno Deor was bad in this race. I know he didn't break as cleanly as they would have liked, but he saved ground pretty much every inch of the way. You would have expected him to at least make some sort of run. He made 0 run from the back of the pack. This has been a disappointing season for a horse that was a giant price when he was second in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. I think you need to regroup, and I think you need to go back to turf.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if they did that. I certainly feel like they should be at least looking at him that way. I mean, at the end of the day, Dan, those two juvenile races at the Breeders' Cup last year, neither one of them has really worked out. They looked a little bit shaky when you watched them live as they were running them, and they have turned out not to be good races.
But Art Collector has been a revelation in his last few starts. Again, 3 consecutive triple-digit buyers going into the Derby, a 100 buyer speed figure, taking them from start to finish in the Ellis Park Derby. And he is a horse that doesn't need to lead to win. He can sit just off. He's very tactical in the same manner as it is the law. Art Collector is going to take a lot of attention at Churchill Downs.